My name is Dibby.
My name's Dobby.
And welcome to
Bedrock versus Java. That's right, we're doing it.
We've wanted to do this for a while now. We feel Bedrock's underrepresented online, but there are loads more points to make too. Yes, this is the footage from the raid Dobby started on the Edgecraft world. Told you get to see it soon.
First of all, Bedrock is more inclusive. You can play Bedrock on any device, whereas Java is only on PC. I've heard some people refer to Java as PC edition and Bedrock as console edition. It's just not true. Java is not the only version you can play on PC, and Bedrock is not just for consoles. So for this reason, there are more than double the number of Java players playing Bedrock. This may come as a surprise to some of you, because the internet clearly favours Java, but we'll get into that more later.
We have to appreciate that this number is only how many copies were bought. We don't know how much each version's actually played, and the reason for the high number of Bedrock players could just be because there are some people who don't have access to a more powerful enough PC to run Java, only a device that can run Bedrock. And this does not actually reflect the number of users, rather the number of purchases. For example, our editor actually has one Java account and two Bedrock accounts, so this fits the statistic perfectly. However, all things considered, we can still safely say that more people play Bedrock. The number may not be as high as shown, but we can assume it to be relatively accurate.
Next we have the number of features available in both versions. In general, Minecraft is Minecraft, and the two versions, for all the controversy between them, are pretty much the same. But Bedrock just has a few more things that make it just that a bit better for us. So we're gonna run down a list pretty quickly and talk about why we think it's better.
So the first thing for me would be fallen trees. In Bedrock, you can occasionally find logs on the floor like a fallen tree. They can be covered in vines or mushrooms and maybe missing a couple of blocks. These just help and add a bit more story and characteristic and immersion to the game.
Swamp mushrooms. In Bedrock, swamp biomes generate with the massive mushroom trees you can find in mushroom biomes, which, given the disgusting conditions of a swamp, makes sense in the Minecraft world. It's just an easier source of mushroom blocks than trying to find the extremely rare mushroom biomes.
Cauldron potions. In Bedrock, you can put different potions in cauldrons. You can do it in a haunted house sort of built to create a creepy vibe. You can use this in adventure maps. You can give the impression of a stinking toilet. You can use it to store potions. You can use it to make the arrows that give potion effects. Not got a clue what the name is. But the cauldron in witch huts generates with a potion inside, which again adds to the rich, immersive world of Minecraft.
Nether roof. Now this is a bit of a controversial one. In Java, you can go above the bedrock roof of the Nether and build there. That's Bedrock the block, not the version. You can make like a Nether hub or a farm. You can get up there in Bedrock Edition as well, but the height limit in Bedrock Edition is the bedrock ceiling at the top, so you can't place anything there. And obviously the way of getting above the roof is clearly a bug. I'm not sure how you could think otherwise. It involves boats, ladders, ender pearls to get through a block that is intended for the player not to be able to get through. Similarly, breaking Bedrock, again the block, not the edition, is a bug. So you use a combination of pistons and TNT to break through Bedrock, a bug. I would argue you should be able to place blocks above the roof, but not be able to access it. In all honesty, probably if it were in Bedrock Edition, I would use it, but I'm glad it's not, because I don't think it should be in the game. The Nether is supposed to be a scary place, and being able to circumvent it by building on the top kind of defeats the purpose.
There are also villager discounts. In Java, if you want discounts on your trades, you have to zombify and then kill the specific villager. In Bedrock, if you kill just one, all the nearby villagers will see that and lower their prices, which clearly makes sense. If they raise their prices when they see you kill another, they should also be able to see you cure another.
Golem farms. To make an iron farm in Java, you need to scare the villagers. This requires you to have a hostile mob to hand, and then be able to transport it around and scare the villagers and whatever. But in Bedrock Edition, villagers just spawn golems naturally on their own, making much simpler iron farms.
There are also trident drops. Tridents are so incredibly easy to get in Bedrock because there's a 3 in 20, or essentially 1 in every 7 chance that a giant will hold a trident, and a 1 in 4 chance that it will drop it. So every 28 giants you kill, you're pretty much guaranteed to get a trident. Compare this to Java with a 6.25% chance of a giant spawning with a trident, and an 8.5 chance of the giant dropping the trident, leading you to needing to kill 200 drowns to get a trident. While there's no way to tell which is objectively better or worse, I think most Java players would prefer Bedrock trident rates, and it's useful too because of
Trident killers. In the same way that if a skeleton shoots a block then you mine the block, if you get hit by the arrows you will take damage. In Bedrock Edition you can push a trident in a square with pistons and this will kill the mobs. Doesn't even trident, so it's still pointy even if you're not actually throwing it. It's useful for farms because trident killers never lose durability. They give you XP and it counts as a player kill, so you can hold a looting 3 sword and the effect is applied to the trident. In raid farms like the one I've recently built myself in Edgecraft, this means you can AFK at the actual raid spawning area, but you still get bad omen because the lower trident killer that's killing the captains at the outpost gives you the bad omen effect because it's player damage. Again, it's controversial, and I do think they should be in the game because skeleton arrows, like we said at the start, and I even think it should be counted as player damage because it's technically the player who is causing the damage to happen. Combat mechanisms, another controversial one, and from a gameplay perspective, yeah, Java combat probably makes more sense, but in real life, you want to swing your sword as much as possible. You don't do more damage by waiting, you just swing as fast as your reflexes let you.
There's also the crafting technique. In Java, you have to move each item by hand into the crafting grid, or you have to select the recipe you want, and then go and collect it from the interface. In Bedrock, you can press it once, and that's it. So much easier.
Snow gravity. If you break a block with a snow layer on it, in Java the snow just disappears, whereas in Bedrock it falls and remains as a snow layer, just a bit lower down obviously.
You can also have winter leaves. Some leaves, when it snows, turn white. It's a small feature, but it looks amazing in builds, and it's also quite cool just to see.
Repeater crouching. There's a bug in Java where if you crouch on a redstone repeater, it doesn't stop you falling off.
There's also foot glitching. If you crouch in Java, the bottom of your feet disappear into the block you're standing on, unlike in Bedrock.
First, features. Java is only recently getting features that have been in Bedrock for ages, like putting redstone dust on pistons, for example. That was only added in 1.16 to Java. And there's also things like putting lava in cauldrons and being able to waterlog rails, which to my knowledge have always been in Bedrock, but are only being added to Java in 1.17. So Mojang is slowly making Java more like Bedrock.
There are also updates. People seem to think Bedrock gets updates after Java. Obviously it used to. But 1.16 came out at the same time as well 1.17. The trend of Java getting them first is over now. The first beta for 1.7...
Beta.
Huh?
Beta.
The first beta for 1.17 actually came out on Bedrock Edition.
This is our first video with a script, so forgive us. But we can't get very far into a Bedrock v Java video without addressing the Ravager in the room. Redstone. Redstone is always one of the key areas to discuss. It's actually less different it's actually less different across versions than you might think. I myself learnt Redstone from watching Java videos on YouTube. So first let's talk about all the features of Bedrock Redstone that make it so great.
There are movable tile entities. That's a lot of words. A tile entity is something like a chest, barrel, hopper, furnace, anything that can hold other items. That makes more sense. In Java, they can't be moved by pistons, whereas in Bedrock, they can. There's absolutely no reason for this not to be in Java. Tile entities are not really heavier like obsidian. They're not really slippery like glazed terracotta. Why can't they be moved? No one knows. Redirecting redstone. Redstone dust points towards pistons. It makes them feel like they're actually part of redstone, and that's incredibly useful. While in Java, you have to make your redstone bigger in order to get the piston powered.
Waterloggable repeaters and comparators. Water doesn't mix with redstone. That's like a rule. But in Java, it doesn't mix with repeaters or comparators either. It washes them away the same way it does with redstone. The redstone makes sense. It's dust. It's called redstone dust. So yeah, water should wash away dust. But we see in the crafting interface that repeaters and comparators have a strong, sturdy stone base. So there's no reason that water should pop them off the ground. The same is true for levers and buttons. Components on the side of pistons. So in Java, pistons were recently updated to allow redstone dust on the top. Finally. But if you place a button or lever on the side and activate the piston, it pops off. Not in Bedrock.
But now let us talk about one of the biggest reasons I wanted to make this video. The internet. The internet hates Bedrock. For no reason. Listen to this introduction to a Java video.
Hey guys, today we'll show you a small iron farm that yields about 500 iron per hour for Minecraft 1.14.3 and probably also above.
On this intro to a Bedrock video.
What's up guys, Jason here. In this video I'm going to be teaching you how to make a simple and efficient Minecraft Bedrock iron farm.
Notice something? Everyone assumes that Minecraft means Java when it's actually the opposite. The Java loading screen says Minecraft Java Edition. The Bedrock screen says just Minecraft. But that's a formatting choice, right? A miscommunication? Nope. When you fill out a form for Mojang if something's not working, it asks you what version you play. There's Minecraft Dungeons, Legacy Edition and so on. But crucially there's Minecraft Java Edition and then there's Minecraft. I'm not saying this automatically makes Java worse. What I'm saying is, it's wrong to say Minecraft when you mean Minecraft Java Edition. Obviously this will be wrong if Bedrock YouTube is actually the same, but it's even more wrong this way around.
So what? It's a mistake, right? Wrong. It's done every single freaking time. Java players just cannot imagine how infuriating it is to watch a farm design or a redstone tutorial, get really excited, build it, and then have wasted all that time and effort because some idiot online forgot to say the word Java.
So why does the internet hate Bedrock? We honestly don't know. Other than Java came first, it's completely logical.
Illogical.
I said illogical.
Did you though?
No. It's completely illogical. After all, there are more than twice as many Bedrock players. But this bias is immense. More than you might think if you play Java. If I were to say these names, Mumbo Jumbo, Exumavoid, Pearlescent Moon, Ilmango and Dream, you'll know exactly who I mean. If I said names like Silent Whisperer, IBX Toycat, JC Plays, the Bowtie Man, and Sloy XP, you don't know who the hell they are. Why? Because they play Bedrock Edition. Their content is just as good, if not better, but they're less successful because the gods of the internet said so.
But so far this video has been heavily biased towards Bedrock Edition. We don't play Java, so it's somewhat understandable, but we should at least present a fair argument. Luckily, many of my friends, including our own editor, plays Java Edition, so I asked each of them why, and we're going to address these comments. But first, our own possible explanations as to why some people prefer Java.
Redstone, before we get into the specific aspects, need to know a bit of theory. The game is measured in ticks. That's how all features work. For example, an iron golem might scan for hostile mobs every 5 ticks. Is that the right number?
No idea.
No, got a clue. We're going to say it is. A tick is 1/20th of a second. This kind of a tick is technically called a game tick. There's also a redstone tick. Redstone ticks are 2 game ticks. This is how delay in circuits work. For example, stone buttons stay powered for 10 ticks, redstone lamps stay powered for 1 extra tick, and hoppers take 4 ticks to make items pass through them, and redstone repeaters can add up to 4 ticks of delay depending on the setting. A pulse is a term for a short burst of redstone signal. So, a 1-tick pulse will power a redstone component for 1/10 of a second. When you give this pulse to a sticky piston in Java Edition, the piston forgets to be sticky and leaves the block there. If you give it another 1-tick pulse, it pulls the block back. This behaviour is known as block dropping. In Bedrock, sticky pistons are actually sticky.
So this is useful in creating all kinds of circuits, such as T flip-flops in large piston doors. If you don't know what a T flip-flop is, it doesn't matter. You just need to know that it's a useful thing to make. and this block dropping helps. However, it is a bug. I don't care how long it's been in the game, it's a bug. Mojang themselves realised this. They tried to remove it in a 1.16 snapshot, but the Java community was like, no, keep it. I hear the comments section saying, you're just salty because it's not in Bedrock. It was. Until 1.16, block dropping was a part of Minecraft Bedrock Edition PS4 Redstone. It's a lot of words. I used it in my circuits. But now it's gone, and I am glad. It's just not how sticky pistons work. They're called sticky for a reason. I think there's another reason to do with Redstone that causes this to be in Java, but we'll get to that later. For now, it's a bug.
Next is quasi-connectivity, sometimes called BUD powering. BUD stands for Block Update Detector. Essentially, there are some layouts of redstone and pistons that cause the pistons to be powered, but not realise it. Then they need to be updated. An update is any physical change which can be placing or mining a block, another piston extending or retracting, or even an entity moving across string. Useful? Yes. A bug? Also yes. This, like block dropping, was in PS4 Minecraft before 1.16 and is so annoying to work around. But more importantly, it doesn't make sense. Take this scenario. In Java, they both extend. Why? The repeater isn't powering the block. That's not how repeaters work. Even in Java, you wouldn't be able to take an output from here. So it must be the top piston, right? Wrong. Pistons are transparent blocks. They can't transfer power to other components. There's a bunch of other similar things that don't make sense, like repeaters on the back of pistons powering them, but we won't get into that now.
Piston retraction takes one redstone tick in Bedrock Edition, but in Java it's instant. I don't think I need to explain why this is broken. Pistons should take the same amount of time to extend as they do to retract, because they extend in one tick. And even beyond that, nothing can move instantly. Let's just do a harmless little equation. Find the speed of a retracting piston in Minecraft Java Edition. Speed equals distance divided by time. That's 1 meter over 0. Oh wait, we're dividing by 0. That's not possible. Am I now ranting about the laws of physics in a game of floating trees? Yes. Do I care? No. Does this slightly undermine my point? Probably. This is the reason I mentioned earlier for the block dropping. Because sticky pistons retract so quickly, I don't think the game has time to realise that the block should go with it. It's just my speculation, I don't know. It came first. It's such an incredibly stupid argument, but it's one of the most common reasons I see, so I have to address it anyway. And so often, I see someone saying something about Java Redstone. No, it's not a bug, it's a feature. That's the way it's always worked, and so it's correct. And I've just laughed. Does that mean we should only play the alpha version of Minecraft? That came first. Newer in games does tend to mean better. In early versions of Minecraft, there was no survival mode. Is survival a bug then, because creative mode came first and is the only correct way? What about water and lava? There used to be no such thing as flowing liquids. They would convert everything to a source block, and that chain would continue across the entire world unless it was stopped by something. So is flowing water a bug? Should we stop using flowing water as a mode of item transportation? What about all the recent updates? Apparently, we can't use honey, we can't trade with or cure villagers, we can't go swimming, fight drown, or even go to the nether. I said at the start it was a dumb argument, and I wasn't kidding.
Random redstone, supposedly. That's one of the biggest complaints about Bedrock Edition. But here's the thing, I just don't see it. Sure, there's some situation like these where the outcome is inconsistent. But what would you expect to happen? If anything, inconsistent output should be the bug. But now there's this one This is the most common example, though the configuration varies. A tick of delay is a tick of delay, so we should always get the same output. Except we don't. Except we do. The thing that causes the change in output is the length of the pulse. A long pulse will always power the first piston, obviously, but a short pulse, specifically a pulse that's less than 0.1 seconds, will power the other one first.
And this does have to be really quick, so if you're seeing inconsistencies on screen, that's not because it's random, it's just because I wasn't quick enough. Which sounds like a bad excuse, but it is the truth.
Why 0.1? That's the redstone tick.
You see, repeaters do more than just add delay. They're given a pulse that's shorter than their delay length. They lengthen it. So a pulse of less than a tick will be delivered to the first piston, this one. But a 1 tick pulse will be given to this one. And pistons in Bedrock are able to be powered so fast they don't register it. It happens all the time when I'm testing a half flying machine. So normally I do that by building the flying machine and I place a redstone block and mine it really quickly. But if I do it too fast, then the piston doesn't extend and I think I've built it wrong. That's not the case. So the second piston, the one that gets the 1 tick pulse, will behave as normal. The first one just won't extend. That's what's happening. It's not random at all. I mean, the piston's not extending with a short pulse is a bug. I mean, we never said Bedrock was perfect. But the point is, it's not random. And now let's look at some of the answers that my friends gave when I asked them. Before we get into that though, I just want to point out one of the most shocking things I discovered. People simply don't know things about Bedrock Edition. I had people tell me you can't go on multiplayer. I had people tell me you can't use commands. There was even one person who asked me whether or not a Minecraft Bedrock Edition was in 1.16 yet. So the first reason I was given was, I'm used to it. And fair enough, it's subjective. If you're used to all the bugs and quirks of Java Edition, and you feel more at home with them than without, go ahead and play Java. This video is more aimed at people who aren't sure which version to get. Bedrock is probably better for those people, because you don't have to learn to cope with Java's weirdness, but if you grew up with it, if you're used to it, sure.
The most popular by far was my friends play it. Again, we can't really argue with that. If your friends do play Java, then of course get it. But statistically, as more than double the number of Java players play Bedrock, this is unlikely to be the case. Mods. Again, fair point, but in Bedrock you can get what's known as add-ons, which basically just the exact same thing.
The controls. This friend found it easier to use a keyboard than a controller. I just personally can't see that. Controls are designed to fit the human hand for ease of gameplay. Keyboards just aren't. But like the I'm used to it argument, if that's what you prefer, then sure. I personally would never feel as comfortable with a keyboard. But wait, there's more. Even if you prefer the keyboard, that's no reason not to play Java. We said at the start that we hear Java referred to as PC Edition and Bedrock as Console Edition, but you can get Bedrock on PC. It's only Java that's picky about where it wants to be played. But wait, there's even more. This is only tangentially related, but I can't not point out that sitting in front of a computer is extremely bad for posture. Homo sapiens, as a result, are developing a spine shape not seen in any other primates, he says, having typed this into ASCII on a computer. Just do as I say, not as I do. And by far the most interesting comment I got was, I've grown up with it. And this wasn't the same as the I'm used to it point. This person said that they were mainly focusing on the sentimental value of Minecraft Java, because it was the first one they got. And this can be put down in the same way as the I'm used to it point, but I just thought it was worth pointing out.
Now, we're heavily biased, so don't make your decision off of this video. Do your own research as well. Well, we can't make you, but I would strongly recommend you do so. This video was simply made to educate about Bedrock Edition, since the internet seems to hate us so much. It was made to help people decide what version to get, but also to counter all those memes that say Bedrock is bad without giving a reason. Because it isn't! If I had to summarise, I would say Bedrock takes more time to be good in the little ways.
Like the snow on leaves and turning white and whatever.
While Java is more like, wah, I'm a big flashy game!
I wrote that part, I love that.
I was trying to interpret how you wanted me to say that.
Keep going.
But that's just our opinion. We're all for civil discussions, but please don't start a war in the comment section. If you missed anything, let us know. But we're out of time for this video, so this has been Dibby.
This has been Dobby.
And thank you for watching.
Bedrock versus Java.
If you enjoyed,
Then leave a like or a nice comment and please don't start a war.
please, I beg you.
It does mean a lot to us. You're not starting a war and the like and the comment.
Oh no, that's a good point. If you'd like to see more content like this, please subscribe.
Thanks for watching.
Bye. Redstone. Before we get into the specific aspects, you need to know a bit of theory.
That's just a theory. A bit of theory. Okay, I'll stop now.